Welcome to the start of a new review series. This I'm reviewing Kamen Rider. Yep, this is Kamen Rider Review Episode 1. And this I'm discussing the first 4 episodes of the original Kamen Rider series. And you might be saying this in the comment section, Nick, why couldn't you do this for the original Super Sentai one? Which basically, by the way, same guy who created both of them. His name is Satoru Ishimori. Yes. The reason why, because it's quite long, number one, and number two, I don't have many plans to do Go Ranger right now. So that might be something far down the line per se, but not currently. Nope. Not currently. I don't have any immediate plans. To do Go Ranger, so there's that. Kamen Rider premiered in 1971 on April 3rd, 1971. So this started roughly 17 years prior to me being born. And one of the reasons why I started now, there's a couple reasons. Number one, because last year it was the 50th anniversary of the franchise. They still make this franchise, despite the fact there was a few years there was no Kamen Rider. And basically, the premise of the very first Kamen Rider, sorry if I move the camera, I'm just trying to adjust it. The premise of the first one is that the original Kamen Rider, this is basically focused on, his name is Hongo Takashi, where he is a motorcycle racer, where he is kidnapped, after being, taken on by several bikers who wear face paint for some reason. Yes, face paint. Then he's knocked out by a man spider. I'm not making this up. He's knocked out by a man spider. As a matter of fact, the debut episode is called The Erotic Man Spider. That is the serious name of the episode. The second episode is The Terrifying Man Bat. Though in the episode he refers himself as Batman. No, seriously, that's what they do with him. The third one is The Mysterious Scorpion Man. And then The Man-Eating Serenton. I've never heard of this. It's basically a plant monster. So he's kidnapped and taken to a facility run by a criminal organization known as Shocker. Shocker is pretty much the main villain organization of this entire, mostly of the Showa era of the franchise. So they keep switching it up. And now they do have a leader who does not physically appear in this episode. Nope. You'll see him in episode 34, which I'll get to that when I get to episode 34. And how weird this guy is. Okay. If you're curious though, what does the Kamen Rider look like? Oh yeah, by the way, he wakes up. His body's been modified by Shocker. So now this is what the original Kamen Rider looks like, and apparently the second one looks like this one too. So he's kidnapped, cybernetically modified, though the pant's not exactly right, but yeah, this right here is more of an accurate look at basically what he looks like. And his motorcycle he drives, yes, he rides a motorcycle. That's his thing. He's known as the Kamen Rider because he rides a motorcycle. So he's just wearing the suit. The helmet does not make a first appearance just yet, a little not later on the episode. So he goes to a couple of different experiments. First, basically a wind tunnel which caused the wheel on his belt to spin, and then they basically put through 50,000 volts of electricity, and then right after that, it's like, okay, we will go to that part. Now we're gonna modify your freaking brain. No, seriously. And then there was an explosion going on, and oh crap, the power generator has been damaged. Run away! And then a scientist who apparently Hugo knows, his name is Professor Morgaswa, or basically he gets him out of there. He's able to break his chains because he's got super strength because he's a cyborg. So he's able to escape and ride on a motorcycle out of there. Then later on, when they try, and of course they briefly capture the professor, though we do see that eventually that Hagori apparently formed his helmet. Now, where the helmet comes from, it just basically just, it's like his head transforms into the helmet, and like he wears the suit. Though one thing I at least got to point out though, when we have him on the table, when we have him on the shock, for some reason the zipper on his suit, because you can clearly see it's front of his suit, where the zipper is partially down. Do not know the reason for that. It's just kind of weird. I think that was an error on the part of the actual people who made the episode. So, they're the man spider. That's an assassin who works for Shocker. Where the hell the guy came from, don't know. So, they're able to escape thanks to be a bunch of the goons, which basically are guys wearing what looks like to be championship belts around their waist, and like they also have belt buckles in the back of them to hold the belts in place. Let's see if I can find the name of the grunts here, because it is by far. Let's see if I can find here the grunts. What are they called? I wish I was up to those guys. Okay, they are basically called. Shocker Combat Men. Yep. And, well, this is one of the looks for them, but not the initial look per se. So basically, let me show what these guys look like, because the look they have on here is not the look I saw in the show, but this is one of their looks. Yeah, this weird championship belt, which apparently has got like a belt buckle back of it. Okay, these are the ones we normally see in the series. Yeah, these guys right here. I mean, don't these things look like championship belts around their waist? Yeah, that looks like to me. Oh, by the way, there are in fact female Shocker combat men. Yeah. Yeah, basically when these things are in fact killed. Yeah. I'm not sure how many that Shocker has in the series, but yeah. And here's the thing. Kamen Rider is willing to kill these people. Well, they're cyborgs. So he's like, okay, but there's blood. Yes, seriously. Oh, by the way, whenever the spider basically kills anybody, the thing dissolves, turns to foam, and goes down and drain. Yes, this I thought was kind of weird. And of course, and because he's a cyborg, he also has trouble gripping stuff properly because he tries to get like a drink of water, and he ends up breaking the faucet because of his strength. And he talks, especially later on. Of course, they do see before this. We do see the guy's daughter. Yes, his daughter thinks someone's following him. And of course, their boss basically happily comes by and gives him a lift. Though he's able to get out. Now, the guy helping out Kamen Rider in the show, he's basically an ally. His name is Tobi Takabisha. I think it's pronounced his name. Yes. He actually is there from the original Kamen Rider era all the way up to the Stronger which is, let's see, Stronger. That's actually the first 5. Yes, the first 5 Kamen Rider runs. Mm-hmm. Yep, the very first 5. Which, okay, interesting. My guess is because it's the 70s, so that's probably the reason why for that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So basically, they bring him to the warehouse where the professor is. Okay, that looks better. Yeah. So they bring him to where the professor is. Then, of course, Professor is killed by Man Spider, and of course his daughter blames the Kamen Rider for his Hugo for it, though this is resolved by the very next episode. And eventually, the Man Spider kidnaps the girl, and then he got to rescue her, and then he is eventually killed during a scene, but he's killed by the Rider Kick, basically this humongous, basically it's a drop kick, a very powerful drop kick. The cause of a kill turns to foam and goes down a drain. The going down the drain thing is the common thing for basically this particular series. For our next episode, the monster is called Batman. Yes, he's called a Batman. He's basically mutated Batman. That's basically what this guy is. The plan now Shocker's plan for the series is to simply this: turn people to cyborgs so they can take over the world. Yep, that's the basis of the series. So, basically, for our next episode, virus. No cyborg this time, basically a virus. Yeah, first was just an assassin, basically, who just works for them. This one is basically a experiment just to turn people into bat creatures. And though Hugo's able to sue some of them, and of course, Riri is not exactly trusting of him, though basically she's going to find out, though, from the Batman. Actually, not from him. Actually, it's from the leader of Shocker. Yes. Where he reveals, oh yeah, your father was a traitor. We had him killed. So, that clears up that. Eventually, by the way he gets rid of the Kamen in this episode, he throws him off a freaking building, like splats, like what? Splat. And then he expels the Batman twice in this episode. Twice. And when I call him the Batman, I don't mean DC's Batman. No, this is a completely unrelated Batman. You could say his Japanese take on the Man Bat. Though this guy made his debut a few years before DC's Man Bat. So, it's revealed that his body has got a cure for the virus after it's basically going back to the university he works for. So, they find the cure, and of course he basically appears about the guy's body and throws his Man Bat off the pregnant splat on the ground. And he goes of his own. Now, in the third episode, this is one of the first episodes I technically had watched before I started reviewing it. The third one is simply all about a man scorpion. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Who turns out he's actually now. The one thing about this guy is that he actually does reappear again after this. Yeah, he does, and he does wear the championship belt like the other guys do. Mm-hmm. So after this episode, his next actual appearance is in the very first Kamen Riders X Super Sentai Super Attention, because everything else is just stock footage. Though actually, technically, his next appearance is in Kamen Rider vs. Shocker, but after that, he comes back for Kamen Rider X Super Attention, and comes back for the following one too. Yep. Yes, and he's kind of an interesting one. The whole thing about him is, we have this prisoner he wants to get rid of, trap the Kamen Rider. By the way, first episode, the villain first to the character by his name. He's like, oh crap, it's Kamen Rider, who's trying to find him while rescuing an old man, who appears just in this episode. Yeah, he appears just in this episode, though apparently he comes back in a different episode of the actor plays and comes back in a different episode playing a completely different character. Yeah. Interesting episode, this one. Yeah, so far nothing bad here per se. Now, the first three monsters can talk. The fourth one can't for some reason. All he can do is basically talk like a lamb. No, seriously, he talks like a freaking lamb. I do not know why in the world this is. Yeah, and he does come back a few times, at least a couple times after this one. Yes. So the plot of this one is to create more cyborgs, basically reusing a similar plot from the first episode by kidnapping random people to turn them cyborgs. One of them happens to be a girl who happens to be watching over her little brother. Now, if this was American, that girl would be the mother, and the boy would actually not be her brother, but actually her son. It's Japan. So, yeah, and this guy does not speak. At one point, the camera does something uniquely different. He actually captures one of the combat men and basically forces him to confess where the headquarters is for the hideout is. So, it find pretty easily. Beats up a lot of the bad guys in this one. Freed the girl, and we do see, like, that room again. I don't know if this is the same base as the way he fought in the first episode. I don't know if he goes back there or not. That I thought was kind of weird. Because that's the thing with him. Mm-hmm. And here's the weird thing about... Now, unlike, let's say, for Super Sentai, we actually defend the base. They don't have defend the base. It's like random locations for quite a while. And they have these generals who pop up in the series. The first general doesn't pop up until, well, they replace the original, which I'll get to that. Don't worry. Yep. But, yeah, eventually Monster's defeated, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, good episodes. I'm going to be discussing... Now, I'm only going to go through the first 13 episodes before I stop and do some anime stuff. The reason why I first 13, because this is the first era for this Kamen Rider series. Because he gets replaced by 14 by a completely different writer. So, I figured though, just this era, it's not very long. It's only 13 episodes, so it shouldn't take too long. So, I should probably finish up probably either by tomorrow or Thursday at the latest. And then I'll do the anime stuff. Yep. But yeah, that's a particular view. I think I might have time for one more video tonight, but it just depends. Okay? Next video. Bye.